Yankee Doodle went to town a-riding on a pony. He stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Confused? Hopefully you won't be after this podcast. Today we are looking at Toby's thoughts on who will win the 6 main categories for the upcoming Oscars. So we're going to go for the main ones. So Best Supporting Actor and Actress, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director and Best Film. So going over to Toby, what is your lie of the land of today's Oscars or the upcoming awards ceremony?
And so this is designed with the idea of doing a cumulative bet.
Yep.
I understand from trotting down to Stan James last year that they won't put on such a bet, but I'm sure you can somewhere.
Yep. So is this a £2 cumulative bet?
Yeah. I don't ever put on more than you are willing to lose.
Exactly.
So,
and would you say £2 is around the level of fun you would equate to watching the Oscar wins?
Something like 2, maybe 3.
It has an the Oscar. So
and you'll get better
if
you listen to my reviews here, my choices. You'll get better odds.
Okay. But we can establish that the economic value of the Oscars is approximately £2, which is obviously what makes this conversation so worthwhile. So
so let's stride on.
Indeed. So what are you thinking about the setup? Are we going to be seeing a clean sweep from any particular film? Is it going to be a nice even spread with different people winning different categories?
Absolutely not. It's definitely not a Titanic type year where one film gets everything. I think the spread aspect will slightly interpret the percentage of voters. I believe there's 6,000 of them in the Oscar voting community, and that may just determine the odd surprise.
Okay, cool. So let's go from, should we do reverse order? So we'll go from the bottom and work our way to the big one, which is the Best Picture. So we'll start with the Best Supporting Actress. The nominees are Laura Dern, Patricia Arquette, Keira Knightley, Emma Stone and Meryl Streep. So out of these, Toby, who do you think is going to be picking up the award?
Patricia Arquette.
Okay, is that in line with the favourites, or are you going slightly off course with this one?
No, that's quite a firm one there. I don't believe that Meryl Streep will be getting away with her wig, and that also relates to another part of the psyche of the voters, which I'll come to later.
Okay, so staying on Best Supporting Actress for a minute. So what particularly makes Patricia Arquette's performance much better than the other nominees, or much more worthy, should we say? Is that a better description?
Well, it's good. It's good and solid, and in a very impressive film. I do have an inkling that Laura Dern is very good. Her performance actually stood out, sort of stayed with me, which is a sign of a good performance. In Wild, she does have a disability, which I know Oscar voters kind of gravitate towards. I don't want to plot spoil, but if you haven't seen the film, but. And I do like that performance, but I just think that Arquette will get it.
Okay, we'll leave it at that, and we'll move on to Best Supporting Actor, of whom the list is Robert Duvall, Ethan Hawke, Edward Norton, Mark Ruffalo, and J.K. Simmons. So, out of those lot, who do you reckon is going to be taking it home?
Absolutely, underline it, J.K. Simmons.
Yep.
If you're if you're going through the Oscar night, you put this bet on, you'll probably be very happy at this point. You'll have got 2 of your choices right.
Okay, sure. So as far as you're aware or would consider, there's no one else from that list is coming anywhere close to J.K. Simmons' performance.
No.
Okay. So next one is Best Actress. We got Marion Cotillard, Felicity Jones, Julianne Moore, Rosamund Pike and Reese Witherspoon.
Right, well here's the only point where there is a 50-50 choice in my mind, and in terms of what might happen, the smart money, so called, is on Julianne Moore in Still Alice. I don't, although it's a fine enough film, she's acting alongside the world's best actor Alec Baldwin. If you take Team America's advice, I think it was flawed. I've also read other views of including people who have worked with Alzheimer's patients who weren't convinced by her performance, of which this film is about. Yes, perfectly good and a sweet, quite simple film. But my choice would be Reese Witherspoon. I think it's a better film, wild, and I would like to see her get it.
Okay, or are you confident there could be an upset here?
I think yeah, exactly. I think it's a stronger performance. It's a stronger film, and yeah, this is the art of betting, isn't it? You I think they could come up the stand side and I just think she might get it. I think the classic vote from the Oscar voters will be Julianne Moore, but
there's enough voters in there who are not going to be swayed by the other performance of an Alzheimer's
I'd like
sufferer.
them to go with her. She made this film with a production company that she's set up, which is for film trying to find scripts and make films which have stronger roles for starring women, and I think that might influence people, although I know a lot of the voters are probably males, but I just like her to see her get it, and it would be a good reward for a very good film.
Okay, cool. So going on to Best Actor, the list is as follows. We've got Steve Carell, Bradley Cooper, Benedict Cumberbatch, Michael Keaton, and our good friend Eddie Redmayne.
Now, this is the toughest race. There's at least 4 horses in this race. They're neck to neck.
Who's the big loser?
I think by a nose, I think our very own Eddie Redmayne is just leading the pack. But I would also say that I think the surprise might come with Bradley Cooper being the winner.
Okay, is this the patriotic vote coming through? Would you say?
Yeah, the film American Sniper was received very well, but it's also quite controversial for good reason. But I think that's also a good thing. It gets people talking, thinking about the subject. I think it was probably overall one of my favourite films of last year, and as good as Eddie Redmayne was playing again.
That's it. We got the disability vote.
God, hasn't he just?
And that's the biggest. That is the biggest one of the lot.
That is the icon of somebody who is revered, quite rightly so, who has defied death for decades after doctors said that he'd had it, and is still communicating with us intelligently with just one twitching muscle in his cheek. I mean, it's a fantastic story.
So it's the sympathy vote, or the general perception that, an actor, if he can do disability, it is better than an actor who isn't.
Yeah, that's probably gonna.
Is Bradley Cooper still going to be able to fight that off? Is patriotism going to trump disability?
Well, I think he will, because I think voters will, and this is again down to the bias of voters. I think voters will want to see American Sniper rewarded, and this is the way they will do it, and quite rightly so, because his performance is quite extraordinary and re-educating and lovely.
Cool, and that kind of links in interesting with Best Director, because obviously Clint Eastwood isn't appearing in that list.
No.
So if you are talking about an even spread and reward across the board, this is somewhere where American Sniper won't be recognised, and probably as we get on to Best Picture we may see that as well. So with Best Director we have Wes Anderson, Alejandro Gonzalez, Richard Linklater, Bennett Miller, and Morton Taldum. So, who are you going with, Toby? Or are we going straight down the favourite, the guy everyone thinks is going to win this?
It'll be Richard Linklater. Absolutely, the passion and the patience that he took to make a film over the course of 12 years will absolutely deservedly be rewarded by winning an Oscar.
Yep. Well, you say none of the other directors. I mean, I guess you do have the issue with Linklater, or the case with Linklater, whereby obviously he has done something which requires far more effort, far more planning than anyone else, and irrespective. I mean, because you've got the question of his actual directorship within the piece. If you didn't realise it was done over 12 years and he hadn't put all this effort into actually creating the piece, would the film itself, as a standalone, without all the background information, warrant a best director? Or is it more the fact that it is to do with everything that's gone into making the film, as opposed to necessarily the film itself?
I think overall secondary. I don't think it's that important that you see these characters growing up before your eyes, especially the boy of the title, who goes from 6 to 18, and is then suddenly, growing a moustache but it's quite notable that he hasn't been nominated for Best Actor. I think if he was better, and if it had been better directed, or the story had been better, then absolutely I would say that's an absolute shoe-in, underline it. But he wasn't, and so I think there's a good possibility that the film won't win. It will get Best Supporting Actress, and it will get Best Director, and another picture will be voted Best
as
Picture.
We're about to find out. So let's go through the list now, and you can maybe spring a bit of a surprise on us then, Toby. So out of the list of Best Picture, we have American Sniper, Birdman, Boyhood, The Grand Budapest Hotel, The Imitation Game, Selma, and The Theory of Everything, and also Whiplash. It's a bit of a long list. So I'm getting the feeling that Boyhood maybe isn't coming in top of your list for this one.
No, I think there may be a bit of a surprise here. I think it's going to be Birdman, because in its own way it's just as groundbreaking as Boyhood. In a different way, the cinematography of that film, the nature of it, the feel of it is kind of wonderful. The cinematographer Emmanuel Lubezki, who did such good work in Gravity, is back here doing some very good stuff. They did 7 to 10 minute takes, which are then edited quite seamlessly, so it feels like one continuous take, and that is something that's not really been done over a full feature film. It's also, and I'll give you a couple of other reasons why I think people might go for this, the voters. There'll be a fondness for Michael Keaton, who has been nominated for Best Actor and is absolutely up there with all of the other horses in that race. As a film, Emma Stone as supporting actress has been nominated, as well as his daughter. Edward Norton as supporting actor. But
it is the case, and we've seen you don't think that they're going to win any of those awards. Under the list.
No, but they're just under, and I think there's a
cumulative.
A degree of support for that film that may just come to fruition in the final vote of Best Film.
Okay, cool. So, to conclude, we'll just go through your list of your selections. So we had Best Supporting Actress as Patricia Arquette, Best Supporting Actor as J.K. Simmons, Best Actress as Reese Witherspoon, Best Actor as Bradley Cooper, Best Director as Richard Linklater, and Best Picture as Birdman.
Yeah.
So, first question is, Toby, with your £2, will you be getting it back? Plus a bit more.
How would I get it back if
you win?
Well,
if I can all 6 straight.
Well, that's the idea. I've yet to find the place where one can put such a bet on. I'm not a big gambling man. I just enjoyed seeing my grandfather betting on horses and putting Yankee bets on, and he occasionally did well. But I don't really bet. But if I were to bet, if Stan James could do me the honour, I would put that choice on.
We should also mention there are other betting shops available.
Indeed, of course.
Which we won't list. We don't want to advocate too
I
much.
didn't bother
betting
going down to Ladbrokes.
No. Oh dear. We're going to have to send them a letter, aren't we? Right. Okay. With that, before we start advertising things, we don't want to be advertising too much. Maybe for £2. They may be worth £2. Buy the business for £2. Maybe something like that. So yeah, we conclude that's roughly that is what Toby's going for. We will maybe get back to you in after the Oscars and maybe double check and go through and see how many Toby got correct, and we might even find out what his £2 may have won.
Yeah,
if it does go through.
And put down in the
comment section.
Put down your ideas, or if you managed to put a bet on, and how much you won.
Indeed.
I'd be fascinated to read that.
Or how much you've lost. Just to, we do need to even this out, because I think the one big issue you get with betting shops, betting adverts is it's always someone winning. You don't see the guy sat in his pants in front of the TV, desolate after he's lost his week's wage.
I put on £12,000 on Patricia Arquette, and she
didn't
lost.
win, and now I'm sat in my pants without any food or any heating. That's the kind of that's the traditional average view that the betting adverts should be portraying. Not the man that wins. That's a 1 in 1,000 individual. It's the man in his pants who's lost all his money. That's the real loser and winner.
All comments are warmly received.
Indeed. Okay, so goodbye everyone, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, thanks you.